Hi, I'm Janessa, and this is BrokeFeed. I am an artist, and this is going to be like a little sketchbook storytime thing. So, for my first segment, I'm just going to do a little introduction and then talk about self esteem because that's something I know a lot of people have to deal with. My name is Janessa. I am 18 and I go to Ventura College. I'm an art major and I'm currently enrolled in figure drawing. And I would like to be a character designer. That's the goal. Hopefully for Disney. Want to make that bank and do something that I like. Yeah, so in this little drawing, I'm doing a little doodle of myself, my little bird. Kevin, he's a real Chad. And for I just use a pencil and a Prismacolor sharpener and some Copic markers because those are the good stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of basic introduction. And now on to the little storytime blurb. So I have a lot of issues that I will probably go into on some other podcast stuff. And that's mostly attributed to the external stuff that I've had to deal with self-esteem. So I think my real self-esteem issues kind of started back in middle school. I got bullied a lot by kind of popular groups of people. They'd let me in and hang out with them for a little bit, and then they'd beat me up, and I was like, not really for me. So I made my voice heard, and that kind of got worse until I left. And we were good until middle school, 7th grade. There's this one chick, name not gonna be disclosed because we ain't doing that. Not in this story time. And she bullied me for being really passive and not very loud and shy and all that. And that didn't really make any sense to me, but she did have a history on picking on people for no reason. And I guess I was her next victim, even though we were friends. So that went on, and then I also had some issues with people in basketball bullying me, because I did basketball. One whole nightmare. If you're an artist, you don't want to mess up those hands. So yeah. There's this other chick picking on me because I wasn't really good. So both of those going on at the same time, and my self-esteem just plummeted. I fell into probably one of my first kind of depressive states, and didn't really do much about it. I couldn't really do much about it. I didn't really know that I wanted to go into art. And yeah, so I think I'm glad I got out of that. I had some friends with me at the time, and everything seemed to be fine. Then we pushed on to high school, and every year, man, every single year we had some sort of self-esteem beat down, right? Because that's what high school is, big old learning experience. So with high school, I had a lot of external stuff as well as internal stuff. It was a constant battle. Freshman year, what did I do freshman year? Oh, yeah, I was alone for the most part, because I hung out with the same friends from middle school. I didn't really have anyone else. And they just gradually ghosted me. Like, beginning of the year, they talked to me a little bit. Middle of the year, I was sitting on the outside of them, and by the end of the year, they just didn't talk to me anymore, which really belittled me. I mean, I felt like I was nothing, kind of like a rent-a-friend. One of them would talk to me whenever they needed something, and that was about it. And I was also kind of talking with people online, and one of the first people that I dated wasn't really there for me either. She went off campus to do drugs and stuff. I don't recommend that. Stay in school and don't do drugs. Yeah, so that went on. I also got into some really toxic friendships, had some people fake, like, suicide and stuff online. Not good for the brain. It makes your self-esteem just, like, plummet. And yeah, so I felt like I was to blame for that, and just my headspace was really bad. But then I got to sophomore year, and I made a couple friends, and I was feeling good again. got out of those toxic friendships, toxic relationships, all that stuff. Sophomore year was fantastic. Weeaboo, full-blown weeaboo. Anime was there, had the power of God and anime on my side. Was doing great. Junior year comes along, and that was... oh my god. Junior year was a mess. So I got in my first relationship, like my first like actual relationship, and that was just a time. Whole thing was good at first, for the first like 8 months, and then the person I was with broke up with me, and then started to get with like my other friends, and I was having an art crisis because I thought my art was garbage, and wasn't really like seeking critiques or anything, and I didn't feel supported in what I was doing. So I just kind of stopped doing art, fell into some really bad habits, and was not doing my best. But yeah, and my art, because the majority of my self-esteem issues coming from inside of me comes from separation stuff and art. So I had a lot of separation stuff and people things, and just because of people trauma over the years, and art stuff going on at the same time. So not a good time, not a good brain moment. Sister Janessa was not doing too hot, let me tell you. So yeah, got out of that kind of going into senior year, and then it was just like a roller coaster because my portfolio was going on. So got over my relationship stuff. I was okay with being alone, cool, whatever. But as my portfolio was going along, I was freaking out because I didn't know what my concentration was going to be, and when I got to my concentration, I didn't know how I was going to go about it, and then just like, it was so much stress. Every time I looked at a piece of paper, I started crying because I doubted my abilities completely, and I did not believe that my art would go anywhere, and I was just wasting my time. So, I mean, I turned in the portfolio, it got done, my art teacher kept me sane, it was great, cool. I scored a 3 on that whole thing, and didn't help me much. My self-esteem was kind of garbage, and I felt really bad about my art. And I still kind of do, like, not now, but just, like, at that point in time. I'd gradually been getting better about it. I felt more confident in my style, but I still wasn't, like, happy with it, and that just kind of beat me down a little bit. I thought my portfolio would be better than a 3, but, you know, you live, you learn, you deal with things. You get certain people looking at your art, just like, whatever. So yeah, I go into freshman year in college, and my art class is fine. Like, I honestly, I built up a bit more confidence in my art abilities. Can I help you? Yeah, so I built up a little bit more confidence in my art abilities. My teacher was really impressed with what I could do, and that made me feel really good. But I was going through a lot of stuff during my freshman year, I'm still in my freshman year, but my first semester of freshman year. Just in the beginning, just a lot, and I didn't want to do any of my art stuff because it was just exhausting. And it was exhausting to draw, it was exhausting to do anything. So art self-confidence is kind of like shaky once again, and realism's not really my go-to. Neither is charcoal or graphite. Hate using those two materials like in full-blown drawings. So it was a pain to get through that. It really took a blow to my self-esteem. But my teacher was really impressed with what I could do, so that helped. But it was also kind of like during the semester I was really in a slump. But I was still producing, so it was fine. And then once I kind of got back on track with my mental health, I can talk about that another day if the podcast, the people that I work with want me to. It's a pretty intense story. Gonna have to have a lot of trigger warnings and whatnot, because Sister Janessa's got some issues. Anyways, that's not what this is about. But yeah, self-esteem. Yeah, so right now, after getting the the help that I needed and getting back on track with my art, I feel a lot better. Like, my self-esteem has really benefited me, and I have some really good people around me, which really, really helps. It helps your brain be nicer to you. Even if you doubt yourself sometimes, your brain is like, hey man, the people around you don't want to be around you, kind of a deal. They do. And you can check in with them and they'll give you that reassurance. But yeah, it's a constant battle, especially when you've been sort of traumatized by people you don't trust that much, or people constantly leaving you. It's not fun. Yeah. So yeah, moral of the story is you'll get your self-esteem boosts. It's a whole roller coaster. It's a bunch of up and downs. Especially with being an artist or being young. I mean, middle school, high school, people are jerks. And a lot of the people that you meet that don't seem like they're gonna be great, they won't be in your life for long. And the quicker you get those toxic friendships or relationships out of the way, the happier you'll be and the better your brain will be. And same goes for art. If you get out of that toxic mind state of, I can't do this, and I suck, and I'm not going to go anywhere, or my art is lackluster, and I'm not going to improve, it's not going to benefit you, and you're just going to be staring at a blank piece of paper crying like me. But, you know, you get out of there. And once you just keep being productive or taking breaks when you need to, you'll produce stuff that you're happy with, or at least content with. And that's kind of where I'm at. I've been trying to constantly post on my account just to, you know, make sure I'm producing something and being active and exercising my creativity per se. But yeah, and it really helps to stay focused on something. So be it art or whatever you do, your friendships, you know, staying focused on either the positive and getting rid of that negative energy and toxicity, or doing that with yourself. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. But yeah, art sucks, and so does life, but you know, you get through it, you truck through it, and you do all you gotta do to make it better. Yeah, so I don't know, that's kind of the conclusion that I've come to. I have other stuff that I can talk about if you guys are interested in, like, you guys wanna, is there gonna be comment section? Yeah, okay, comment stuff that you want to hear. Yeah, on the YouTube. I have a lot of stories. I'm full of stuff to talk about. Yeah, I've lived a pretty full life for being 18. Yeah, and also art stuff. Like, if you guys have any questions about art stuff, I could do a little Q&A kind of thingy-majigger. You guys are interested in seeing any certain arts or have any questions about stories that I'm doing, it's all on my Instagram at Creative Cartoons. And yeah.